And to some news breaking this minute coming in from the top court, big development there taking place in the Ayodhya hearing. The Chief Justice of India has observed that they want a status report from the Ayodhya Mediation Committee. Now, the Supreme Court has directed the mediation panel, which is headed by Justice Khalifullah, to inform by July 18 the status of mediation. In fact, let me go across to our Deputy News Editor Meenakshi Bhanja, who's joining us live from the Supreme Court, getting us those updates there on the Ayodhya case. Meenakshi, over to you. Can you take us through the latest updates there coming in on this big development taking place in the Ayodhya hearing?
Well, that's right, Apurva. You know, big twist coming in here at the Supreme Court, where we had seen on an earlier occasion all the parties express their consent to try and explore the mediation process. Now we have big news where the primary Hindu parties, which comprises the Hindu Mahasabha, the Nirmohi Akhara, and the other Hindu party, which is
और अगर मीडिएशन में कोई प्रोग्रेस नहीं दिखती है तो कोर्ट ने कहा इस मैटर की हम 25 जुलाई से सुनवाई करेंगे। कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा है कि जिन पार्टीज को हमने ट्रांसलेशन अपना दाखिल करने के लिए कहा था वो अपना ट्रांसलेशन कोर्ट के सामने दाखिल करें।
तो क्या कुछ और ड्रेस में की गई है कुछ?
देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बेसिकली ये कहा है कि हम अपना जो प्रीवियस ऑर्डर है वो हम विड्रॉ नहीं करेंगे और मीडिएशन कमेटी जस्टिस कलीफुल्ला को कहा है कि वो अपनी रिपोर्ट सबमिट करें बाय थर्सडे कोर्ट के सामने और कोर्ट को अप्राइज करें कि मीडिएशन का क्या प्रोग्रेस है। कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा है कि अगर मीडिएशन का कोई प्रोग्रेस नहीं होता है तो इस मामले की सुनवाई की जाएगी। कोर्ट ने 25 जुलाई की तारीख फिक्स की है इस मामले की सुनवाई की।
हालांकि मुस्लिम पक्षकार हैं, वो लगातार कह रहे हैं कि मीडिएशन होना चाहिए, हिंदू पक्षकार के नहीं होना चाहिए। तो
देखिए, हिंदू पक्ष
में कुछ टसल है क्या है?
देखिए, हिंदू पक्षकारों का शुरू से मत रहा है कि इस मामले का समझौता और इस मामले का निस्तारण मीडिएशन से नहीं हो सकता है। हिंदू पक्षकारों ने आज सेम स्टैंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने रखा अपनी एप्लीकेशन द्वारा, जिस पर राजीव धवन ने अपना विरोध जाहिर किया। उन्होंने कहा सुप्रीम कोर्ट को इस एप्लीकेशन का संज्ञान नहीं लेना चाहिए। उस पर कोर्ट ने कहा कि हमने मैटर में मीडिएशन सजेस्ट किया था, हमने मामला मीडिएशन को भेजा है और इसीलिए कोर्ट ने कहा कि हम मीडिएशन पैनल से रिपोर्ट मांगेंगे कि मीडिएशन की क्या प्रोग्रेस है वो कोर्ट को बताएं। और उन्होंने ये कहा मीडिएशन पैनल को कि वो अपनी रिपोर्ट सबमिट करें बाय थर्सडे। जस्टिस कलीफुल्ला को उन्होंने स्पेसिफिकली कहा है कि वो अपनी रिपोर्ट थर्सडे तक सबमिट करें और कोर्ट को बताएं कि मीडिएशन की क्या प्रोग्रेस है। कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा कि सारी पार्टीज को जिनको अपना ट्रांसलेशन दाखिल करना है वो अपना ट्रांसलेशन दाखिल कर।
हिंदू पक्षकार की तरफ से क्या दलील दी गई?
देखिए, हिंदू पक्षकार
लग रहा है कि आगे प्रोग्रेस
देखिए हिंदू पक्षकारों का बहुत ही क्लियर स्टैंड रहा है कि इस मामले का हल मीडिएशन से नहीं निकल सकता है। ये बात जब माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने मैटर मीडिएशन में भेजी थी उससे पहले भी हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने रखी थी और आज भी जब मीडिएशन में पार्टिसिपेट किया, 11 हियरिंग हुई है मीडिएशन की, उसमें भी हिंदू पक्षकारों ने पार्टिसिपेट किया है और उन 11 मीटिंग्स में इस मामले का कोई हल निकलता नहीं नजर आ रहा है। इसीलिए लिहाजा सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने हिंदू पक्षकारों ने ये एप्लीकेशन फाइल की है कि इस मामले का हल मीडिएशन से नहीं निकल सकता है और मुख्य मामले की सुनवाई की जाए।
सर, इंग्लिश में ही बोल दो एक बार। सर, इंग्लिश।
Vishnu, we just want to ask you a simple question. Is this the move you wanted in the case?
See, definitely we wanted the Supreme Court to proceed in this manner, and this is what all the parties wanted, especially the Hindu parties, because our stand has been very categorical. Our stand has been very clear that in this matter mediation is not possible. This matter can't be settled by mediation, and therefore today the Supreme Court, taking notice of our application, Supreme Court has said that kindly give a report by Thursday, and Supreme Court has further directed that in case the mediation can't be proceeded with, it can't be gone ahead with, then the court will hear the main matter as early as possible.
What were the observations of the top court?
The Supreme Court has definitely, Mr. Rajiv Dhawan pointed out his objections to our application. Supreme Court said that we have heard you enough, and Supreme Court further said that if mediation order was passed by us and we have suggested for mediation, and if mediation is not progressing, then definitely we will hear the main matter. Supreme Court has further directed that all the translations which the parties has been directed to file by way of a previous order should be filed as early as possible.
So this is the move that you wanted that's coming forward. The top court
Yeah,
might
definitely.
possibly look into the case by 25th.
Definitely, we wanted the matter to be heard as soon as possible, and if the mediation is not progressing, then the matter should be heard and the matter should be decided and the judgment should be passed expeditiously.
All right, very clearly, Hindu Mahasabha's lawyer Vishnu coming out extremely.
From Vishnu Jain, the Hindu Mahasabha lawyer, taking that point across to my colleague Meenakshi, who's still with us, joining us live, getting us those updates. Meenakshi, please go ahead. We had to interrupt you for that reaction that was coming in from the Hindu Mahasabha lawyer.
Well, yes, Apurva, we have we have another aspect to add here, which the lawyer was not informed about because he hurried outside as soon as the hearing concluded. And we have indications coming in from the top court that once the matter concluded, the Honorable Chief Justice of India has obviously sought a report from this mediation panel because he was the one who went ahead and constituted this mediation panel with the consent of his other brother judges who are a part of this constitution bench. But the twist here is, as we have been bringing to our viewers, that now the Hindu parties feel that mediation is not the recourse to resolve a dispute of this nature. And secondly, from the 25th of July onwards, if the mediation panel gives an unfavorable report about the progress of mediation, then the Supreme Court could very well go ahead and order day-to-day hearing in the issue. So that's the two-part big takeaway which is coming out of the Supreme Court. The Hindu party is clearly telling the top court that mediation is not the recourse to resolve this long-standing dispute. It wants for the Supreme Court to adjudicate and rule on this issue by way of a judgment. And secondly, if the mediation panel report is unfavorable, then there is a possibility of the top court intervening and passing an order which will expedite the hearing on a day-to-day basis. Back to you.
All right, so big developments there coming in on the Ayodhya case, but also Meenakshi, help us understand what have been the kind of arguments that have been put forth by the Hindu Mahasabha lawyers, because time and again they have opposed to the mediation process. Even before, in the last hearing as well, we saw them completely opposing the mediation process. What is the kind of arguments that they have put forth for opposing it?
Well, yes, Apurva, some perspective for our viewers. Remember the issue per se, whether or not this contentious piece of land belongs to the Hindus or the Muslims, whether this was the original ownership of the Hindus and there was a temple which was destroyed by Babur. Those are issues which come within the realm of merits of the case, which the Supreme Court thus far has not begun hearing on. On an earlier occasion, we had seen the Supreme Court express its desire to resolve this issue in an amicable manner. It said that this is an issue which pertains to the faith and the belief of people, and it is only fair that mediation be given a shot. So it was post that particular development that the Supreme Court had constituted this particular mediation panel. Even that point in time, we had seen certain fractured opinion coming in from the Hindu parties like the Hindu Mahasabha, which that point in time was also insisting that the Supreme Court does not send this matter for mediation. But despite that, there was a sense that mediation could be given a shot. And then subsequent to that, we saw in Faizabad this particular mediation committee, which was again ordered by the Supreme Court, led by Honorable Justice Kalifullah, which also has Shri Ravi Shankar and Advocate Panchu as one of its members. They convened and they met all the parties there, and their stay and the lodging and all other facilities were entrusted with the state of UP to be taken care of by orders of the Supreme Court. But clearly, after that process has played out, the parties who are to the main title dispute, which is Nirmohi Akhara, which is one primary party, then we have Ram Lalla Virajman, which is the other party, and Hindu Mahasabha, which is the third important party. They clearly feel that going forward, mediation is not going to resolve this issue in any which way. It has to be by way of a judicial order of the Supreme Court, and that is what has been impressed upon before the Apex Court today, to which we have seen Honorable Chief Justice of India say this, that since it was the Supreme Court which has constituted the panel, therefore it is for the Supreme Court to also understand what the panel has to say with regards to this issue. Back to you.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, Meenakshi. Many thanks for joining us and bringing us those perspective and updates there coming in from the top court.